It's Thelma and Louise, hacker style, as Darlene grabs Dom in an effort to both keep her alive and both of them one step ahead of the Dark Army in the wake of their successful exposure of the Deus Group. But leaving town is not as easy as it seems when it's your own personal demons that keep dragging you back. It's time to get going on this week's Mr. Robot. 410, gone.
I don't want another heartbreak. I don't need another turn to cry. No, I don't.
Hey everyone, D here, and welcome to this week's review of Mr. Robot. So yes, of course, spoilers coming your way. And as always, do want to tell you about our quick jump index system in the description below, with this entire review titleized, timestamped, broken down. You can jump to the end first. You can watch the beginning last. You can watch this review in any order you'd like. All right, so this week's episode 410, Gone, as a web error, is pretty much exactly what it says. Gone. The requested resource is no longer available. It's kind of like your 404 not found error, except 410 is usually used to say that what you were looking for used to be there, but it is now gone. It's no longer available and most likely permanently unavailable. So just an acknowledgement that the thing that you were looking for used to be there, and that's sort of a lot of this episode. I mean, Deus Group's power used to be there, that's gone. Their money used to be there, now that's gone. People used to be poor, that's not quite as gone anymore. Dom, dealing with a lot of stuff, job, family, all of that, responsibilities. Well, not gone, but certainly temporarily unavailable as far as she knows. Gone. Also, what Darlene wants to do with Dom, get gone. And ultimately, a lot of internal fears are accomplished, and hopefully those are also gone at the end. So, yeah, it's a lot of moving on in this episode. And it's a great episode because it's a very Dom-centric episode. I can pretty much say this is probably the last that we are going to see of Dom. I mean, there's always surprises in this show. But I love the fact that we got a good long episode with her really as the focus, kind of finishing up her journey. Starting out really appropriate in kind of that sense of realizing, again, her job's gone. She's in the hospital. She is watching. It's a great having in the background during this whole scene the report of the Deus Group doxing. For those that are unfamiliar with it, doxing is a dropping documents. It's just a malicious. It's a data dump of information, exposure, usually considered malicious. So yeah, basically what they did, exposing all the Deus Group, doxing. There you go. We dropped them documents that exposed everything. So that was kind of a cool thing to see, that the effects of that as she's listening to her boss saying, you know, you're out, you're going to have to be investigated, it's 6 months. Her desperate plea to want to see her family to get out. And even that's denied to her. No, you can't. Until you get cleared. They're giving. I mean, she confessed to everything. That's what he's saying. You've committed a lot of crimes. Now, of course, that's all under the force of the Dark Army and such, which is probably going to play in her favor. But this is going to be a long process. She is having nothing to do. And for someone like Dom, I think that's probably the most frustrating. She hides in her work, so she doesn't want to face all of her internal fears and losses and complications and demons and things like that. Not to mention just the stress of what she's put her family through. You know, highly motivating. So, I mean, it was just great to really establish immediately Dom's lack of power of kind of affecting her world. And then once being swept up with Darlene, the two of them, a really nice couple in this. I mean, they're really not long-term relationship, but they are cute together. There is definitely a connection that sort of works. Great scene in the first meetup. So much sexual tension there with the music from Practical Magic playing this kiss, and we got the two of them right in frame. constantly there's just like energy pulling them together, beautifully shot, really establishing that energy between them. And then there's subsequent running, the scenes with Leon, obviously hilarious, very terrifying for Dom. And ultimately, like I said, just facing those internal fears, Dom not wanting to let go of her responsibilities, the things that she feels that she has to do. And Darlene, in the same sense, needing to let go of her fears of needing someone else, that anxiety that she can't do it herself. So ultimately, we kind of get that, the fact that we kind of get that romantic, almost like run towards each other, but crossing in a way, was Darlene dismissing the fact that she doesn't need Dom, she can hold it on to herself. Dom thinking maybe she needs Darlene, definitely needs to get away, doesn't need anything. And it's a great moment of each of them not coming together, but still successfully overcoming those internal demons. And Darlene, getting a hold of herself, and Dom, well, probably finally getting a good night's sleep. So yeah, much of this episode really driven by this attraction, this connection between Dom and Darlene. And again, I love how they kind of set that up. I mean, we have that first scene where Dom's trying to get out of the hospital, released against medical advice, because she just needs to get out, away. She just wants to go home, and yet she can't leave by herself. She has to get picked up. Hospital rules. They've got to wheel you out in a wheelchair, and you got to be picked up by someone. Those are the rules. Mainly the anesthetic. You can't be driving. You can't be left responsible for yourself. They can't put you in a cab. Horrible things can happen in that sense. And really, just so much of Dom, they're fighting to get away, and the order's just like, look, am I going to have to call security here? I mean, you just see Dom trying to sneak away as soon as the back turns, security jumping on top of her. But again, really, outside of her family, she has no one. There's no one for her to call. And I think really reinforced, again, great visuals and sound as the intern walks in order to to call social services to see who he can get. And we just have the door grinding as it opens and closes behind her. It was just, I mean, really kind of a perfect visual. And yet, she does have someone. The fact that Darlene was looking for her, tried to track her down to the hospital, did get back to her at the apartment. I mean, there's a sweetness about that. It's sort of like, I think that's a nice realization for Dom is, hey, there is someone, though it takes a little while for that to go in. And as I talked in the review summary, this whole scene, really nicely done. Not only just the tension and energy between them, really set up at different points, but Dom not caring, just blindly thinking, I'm just gonna put a dresser in front of my door and be able to hide from the dark army. Can finally have my grilled cheese sandwich. I mean, yeah, I guess that's a moment of not caring. But for years she's been wanting to come home, have a grilled cheese sandwich, but she's always too tired. And now, damn it, with nothing to do, she's gonna have that grilled cheese sandwich. I understand that. Those are really tasty. But a beautifully done scene. I like with the Faith Hill song playing out in the background. Again, just amplifying the tension between these characters. And Darlene so much fighting back of like, what are you doing? We have to go. You can't hide out here. You have nothing to do. There is no reason for you to stick around. Really culminating in that whole Alexa bit. I'm not alone. I have Alexa. And even Darlene there, again, opening up to Dom. I'm not going to let someone else I care about, I'm not going to lose someone else that I care about if there's something I can do about it. I mean, this is nice. This is good for Darlene to have that, to open up with someone and to try and pull Dom back in to show that it's true. It's just a beautiful scene. And again, that whole Alexa bit at the end. She's just, I'm not alone. I have Alexa. Smash! Dropping the music there perfectly. Again, it just sinks that attention right into what Darlene is saying. It's not a person. It's a robot. Use it to order paper towels with. Get your toothbrush. I love it. Just immediately fixed up with that of like, get your stuff. Now, the other thing that scene does is it gives us a little insight into Dom's definite need of sleep. It's that recurring thing she keeps hearing. The doctor's asking her, you should probably get some rest. Definitely don't want to do that in the hospital. I mean, I agree with Dom. Don't want the drugs. I wouldn't want to sleep in a hospital with a dark army after me. That's like, you're not going to wake up in that situation, So, I mean, that sort of makes sense. But again, even Darlene's like, you need to get some sleep. Leon later on, you need to get some sleep. But it's been 5 years since she has gotten a good night's sleep, outside of the occasional nightmare. So again, it really kind of sinks into Dom's really isolated, degrading mindset. Sleep is necessary for your brain to properly function. And that is just one more internal demon that Dom is having to deal and wrestle with throughout this. Was it that Darlene says later on, no wonder you can't get any sleep. You hold on to everything so tight you don't let go. If you can't let go, you can't relax. If you can't relax, you can't go to sleep. You gotta let go. Let that stuff be gone. So we get 2 nice moments in the hotel. One, of course, out in the parking lot. The goodbye between Elliot and Darlene. We'll touch on what Elliot was doing on in just a minute. But just the emotional connection there, I think, was really sweet. Darlene already, she knows her brother, already consents, you're not coming with us. No, I have to go back to Washington Township. And really a proper goodbye and emotional, that hug really held so much there, where we can see that this is probably the last time they're really going to see each other. I mean, Elliot does try and let her know, you can't come with me, as for him to push off, but Darlene's done. She's gone through the adventure. She doesn't need any more. She needs to get gone. So it's a nice moment that they had there. Very sweet. They held it. There was that one extra emotional bit in the joke about the road trip. Any advice on a road trip? I don't know. I've never been on one. But some Sour Patch, I mean, that's just, again, referring back to their kids, their favorite kind of snack and stuff. It's a very sweet moment, but definitely strong in the sense that really the impression that this is goodbye for them. That they may not see each other again, certainly not for some time, especially since both of them think they're being pursued by the Dark Army. It's not like you can send Christmas cards readily. So it was a nice way to sort of wrap this up. And though, yes, by the end it does seem that Darlene may not be entirely gone now, still the moment was important, and I think they held that really well. Then, of course, we have Dom running into Leon. Oh my God, the terror in Dom's face and the complete lack of Leon getting it just was perfect. Have we met before? In the barn? It doesn't ring a bell. You shot 4 people. Oh, yeah. The things you have to do to spark someone's memory. For Leon, obviously, these things don't really sink in. It's not a long-term prospect in that sense. You only focus on his important things. Principally movies. Get some great movie advice. And 3 Days to Condor is really, really good. But it really just that kind of back and forth. And as Leon's talking about diversification. When I tripled my profits, according to my bookkeeper, and she's Japanese, so she knows numbers. You'll get a little racism in there, just a little taste. But again, just a sweet, powerful scene, especially as it ends when Darlene walks in. It's like, oh shit! I've got to tell you that he's with us now. It was perfect, and again, just keeping Dom completely off her sense of center here. She's really just having to go with the ride. Now, one thing that was definitely apparent is Dom has been planned as part of their route of escape. I mean, she's already got the fake passport. Jackie Doublehorn. Got a name, picture, and everything. So, I mean, again, you don't just pull that out of a vending machine. It takes a little planning. I'm sure that's part of Leon's work there for him. So, again, it's another one of those nice insight moments of seeing that this isn't a spur of the moment, we have to save Dom, because she's in trouble. It was, as we're planning this escape out, she was definitely part of that plan from the beginning. So, I mean, that was kind of, I think that was sort of a nice moment. I think that Dom sort of had to realize how much thought and time went into this. This was not some, again, spur of the moment impulse from Darlene. And certainly the fact how she's talking about, she mentioned in the last one that night with them meant a little bit more. And she already said, I don't want to lose someone else I care about. This really kind of further reinforces the fact. But it does put Dom in an interesting position now, having to be someone else. And just another great little bit between her and Leon. Well, the part in the bathroom was kind of cool as she's trying to come up with the backstory and who Jackie is and so, but that only comes again from Leon's statement. Who's Jackie? She's anything that you want her to be. Make it up. Who is the person you would most like to be? Have an escape from yourself. Let yourself be gone and try and become someone else. And I love Leon's it's a very serious moment. He's always a jokester, but it was a nice, poignant, serious moment when Dom says, yeah, but you're not the one pretending to be someone else. And he's like, you think Leon's my real name? And again, with all the attitude that Leon plays, that one singular focus moment, I think, really is what impacted Dom to kind of risk making that change and seeing the fact that, am I talking to a real person, or is this really just a persona presented to me? An interesting way to reapproach life if you have that opportunity. But what provides you with those opportunities? Money. And money is, of course, the source of our Scene of the Week for this week. And it has to be, because this is so much of the whole thrust of this show. The theft of not only of the Deus group, but really the largest redistribution of wealth in history. It was just a great moment, really, of seeing Darlene have some joy in what she does and trying to pull that out of Dom, going out, sitting down in front of all the people, and again, some great shots from really high, the overhead shots. It's so bright. There's so much brightness. Everything is just forms and shadows and light. It was really a very cool way of seeing the interplay of humanity in that shot. But just the whole idea of, like, watch this with one hit of the button, redistributing everything. And I think that was right. I think Elliot was right saying, Darlene, this should be you. This is your win. Because she did. She led the thrust on getting the Deus group out, putting the video out, getting that so that she could get all the phone information and all the everything that happened last week. That really was a lot of her. It was Elliot that was pretty much just going after White Rose at that point. So it was right for her to do this. And it was a great moment to just show Dom, we just Robin Hooded them. And we don't know how much money everybody got. Definitely seems to be a significant amount from Dom's reaction and the rest of the crowd. At least, I'm thinking tens of thousands, possibly. $10,000? I don't know. You guys let me know in the section below, in the comments section, how much do you think got dropped to everyone? There might have been a freeze frame where they may have shown, but I think the idea, the exact number isn't what's important. It's the impact that it has. And it was just, again, it was a perfect moment. Just again, even of Dom fighting back with Darlene, and she's just like, just watch, just relax, and then that kiss. Just shut up for a moment and watch the world react to what we've done. And it was beautiful. The reactions off of everyone, just the idea of all the money this group has taken, stolen, extorted from everyone else over the years, that full hidden amount suddenly given back to everyone to use. It's, well, yeah, there might be some inflationary effects and stuff like that, but eCore in some ways did it themselves with eCoin because it's equivalent to the dollar and they can't undo anything because it's independent in that sense. It's just the whole setup is a perfect screw back to eCore using their own monies, using their own plan against them. And it was a beautiful bit, and I think Darlene had the right to scream out in joy there. And honestly, the scene with Irving popping up there in the airport. I've told you guys I've missed Irving. Bobby Carnival is so great, and he looks so different than Irving with the hair slicked back and the mustache and the mannerisms. It's such a great chameleonic change. But again, those moments of just Dom experiencing so much terror throughout this episode. You know, initially when she's lost everything, then when she runs into Leon, she thinks it's all over. Then when she runs into Irving here, realizing, oh my God, don't kill us. And he is so matter of fact, just like, hey, here's my book. Yeah, I'm on a book tour. Here, I'll sign it. Got to be sure to pay for that. Still got to pay for that. It was just, it's what he said. He was going to finish his book, and this is what he's doing. But a way of letting us know, letting the audience know, letting Dom and Darlene know that the Dark Army is not interested in them anymore. It's like what, they did so much damage, it's all over. There's no point to going after them, or they have another plan. I mean, again, they're implying there's a little bit more when they said the group disappeared, they took off to a safe location to do a thing. Is this the White Rose thing? We know she's not dead from the previews that we see for next week's episode and some other stuff that we've seen. So is this them coming in to try and enact this White Rose plan that we still don't really know exactly what that is? We don't know. But the point is the Dark Army's not after Dom anymore. And they're not after Darlene. They're off the radar. And if he knew, if they were after him, Irving would know. Again, it's just such a... God, I love the character. He plays it so well. But again, just even the dismissal of like, why would I kill you? No, they're not interested. Trust me, I would know if they were interested in you. Now you go on, enjoy. This is a great book for the flight. You relax. God, just, again, that perfect blend of terror and release and confusion, all mixed in one little bit. This was a perfect point to bring in Irving. Just have him do this one scene and go off. You don't need him for anything more. He's done his job. Even let's just know that the killing of Janice, wasn't that bad. She's a pain in the ass. You did them a favor. But I killed and I did and these things and... No. We're done. You're cool. Enjoy. Have a great flight. Enjoy your vacation. I'm out of here. I mean, it was just a joy and a release and anxiety and so much lovely set. And Dom's, again, whole reaction, the continuing journey of like now all of my anxiety has nothing. And in a way, there's nothing for her holding her back at this point. And as all journeys must end, so must the Dom and Darlene relationship. For the moment, at least. Maybe in the future there'll be something. Certainly, possibly once Darlene grows up, maybe goes checks out U.S. Cyber Command. It's an idea. But yeah, the big final goodbyes. Of course, now the realization the Dark Army's not after them. That changes everything. There's no need to run, but there's also no reason to stay. And that's kind of the great little battle there at the end, I think, between Dom and Darlene. Of Dom, again, her internal demons reaching out, pulling her back in. With Darlene, it's the same thing. Her and demons trying to make her go, get out of here, and yet unable to function by herself. The anxiety attacks, everything. She's not good by herself. She needs someone to lean on. I think that's why the loss of Angela also had such a large hit, because they were having a reconnection, and then Angela was lost. So again, she's lost her boyfriend, she lost Angela, she's kind of said goodbye to Elliot, at least for now. Dom was the last thing there, and now she has to deal with the thought of going on her own. And I love how they set it up as that kind of romantic run back. Are they going to go? Are they going to meet? Is she going to make the flight? Are they going to meet out in the, on the ticketing area? It's, it's like, where's this going to happen? It was a great tension of, again, dealing with those internal bits. Dom walking away and suddenly realizing at the point of no return, very appropriate, that what Darlene told her was right. There is nothing holding her here. She's on she's on desk for 6 months at least. She can't see her family. She's being investigated. There's nothing she can do about this. All she can do is go back and sit in her apartment and stare at the broken pieces of Alexa. Why not go? And then for Darlene herself, can you function on your own? Do you need someone, or do you have the strength and capability and trust in yourself to not have to have someone? And the fact that you both sort of realize this at the same time, and in a way kind of like cross directions without seeing each other. This is sort of the birth of a great romantic comedy right here at the end, but the fact that they miss each other, that they actually, Dom does run back to meet up with Darlene, and then ends up being stuck on the flight by herself. And Darlene, trapped inside the bathroom, is she going back to see Dom, or is she really doing this just for herself? I think they leave that nicely up in the air, to be perfectly honest. I think it's less of going back to seeing Dom, more of being in her own. But maybe the idea that if she stays, she could see Dom was that part of her motivation. Maybe. Also, beautifully shot scene right there. Just the reflection, Darlene staring at her reflection is the full panic attack, and she's gripping the sides, and the lady's like, do you need help? And she's just got to breathe and focus and staring into herself to convince herself that she can do this. Really beautifully done. A beautiful final shot of her coming into her own right there was just great. And then, of course, Dom finally gets some sleep. She's on the plane. She's heading out to Budapest. She's got Irving's book and no more responsibilities. Nothing to hold on to. It's all gone. And she can finally get some sleep. All right, just a couple of small things. One, while I did like that whole final sequence of Dom, realizing she doesn't need to go back and running up back to the plane to see if she can catch it in time and maybe meet up with Darlene. Again, it's beautiful, it's sweet, it's a perfect kind of romantic comedy bit. They've got the music going in the background, it was wonderful. But should Dom really have been running with those stitches? Wasn't she told not to do strenuous exercises? I was really afraid she was going to run up and be like, ah, and then drop out. And I'm hoping that she was sleeping on the plane and did bleeding out internally. I don't think so. But still, I don't think that was a smart move on her end. So Darlene's looking at two potential job opportunities. One, Leon offering her some work, some adventure. If she decides when she gets back, if she wants to, can be her own boss. That's always a plus, right? So that's one. The other is really the other direction. Criminality or legitimacy. Dom giving her the card of her friend at U.S. Cyber Command when she finally grows up and wants to do some larger contributions. Just kind of an interesting point to leave Darlene at in the midst of finishing this big hack and opening up her life and giving her the opportunity to really go in any direction she wants. It's sort of a great bit of temptation. Which will she listen to? Which shoulder will she listen to? The demon or the angel? Police or criminal? I'm not sure if I can tell you which is the demon or angel, to be honest. I guess that depends. But still, it's a nice opportunity. Plus, she might be able to work with Dom. And, that'd be nice, right? So a lot of dark army in Connecticut. I would not have thought about that. Also love RWAs, rich white a-holes. I guess if that's your prey, that's where you're going to be camped out. But still, good to know. And of course, I don't want to forget to mention Elliot, and I know he was only in this briefly, but we do get a shot to see what he is going to be doing in the next couple of episodes, going through White Rose's project information. We don't get to see that much. We get to see experiments in the Congo, and proton-proton interaction, and of course, Washington Township, where it all began, where Dad worked and then he got sick and died. The whole source for revenge. Of course, everything's got to come full circle, so that is where Elliot is heading off to, all by his lonesome. And if the previews for next week's episode is any indication, he's going to have quite a bit of adventure, not the least of which is White Rose, who we last saw prettying herself up as there was gunfire in her place. Obviously, she is going to get away. We know this isn't quite the end with her, but we do, hopefully this means, and they have to, finally find out what this darn project is. And is this what the Deus group is going back to? Is this their ultimate kind of backdoor, last-ditch, Hail Mary bomb attempt to turn everything around for them? Are we really going to go into heavy sci-fi, or is this going to stay light hacker sci-fi? Really curious. I just want to find out what's going on. To be honest, it's been too long. What's up with Washington Township? What is this plan? What is White Rose after? And do you really think she's going to be able to convince Elliot to join her? I don't think so. But we will have to wait for next week to see that. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me with these reviews. And if you enjoyed the review, please, of course, go ahead and hit that like button. Thoughts, ideas, and comments, throw those down in the section below. What do you guys think about this episode? Where do you think we're going? Any final thoughts or plans on what this whole project is? And, of course, how much cash did everyone get? How many E-dollars? How rich is everybody? Post Darlene hitting that button. Let me know your thoughts. Throw those down in the section below. You can always catch me on Twitter and Instagram. I am at Darren Jakes. Please subscribe. It's quick, it's easy, it's one button press. You catch the rest of these reviews. Plus, we're doing Mandalorian. Walking Dead returns in February. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the summer. Don't miss any of those. You want a subscriber? Do that by clicking this button right here. And we'll go ahead and throw up, let's see, latest review here and our watch-along that I did with Mark over Enchantment of Eternity for The Force Awakens. Was a blast. If you guys are interested in all, go ahead and check that out. Anyway, that will wrap us up for now. Thank you so much. And I'm D, and I'm out of here. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.